Now, brothers, next is the preliminary presentation from Archbishop Salvatore Cordileone, Chairman of the Committee on Laity, Marriage, Family Life, and Youth. He will present to us action number 9, which is the proposed pastoral framework for marriage and family life ministry in the United States, called to the joy of love. Archbishop Cordileone has already pre-recorded his presentation, so will be available for live discussion. Archbishop Cordileone.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Call to Love, Pastoral Framework on Marriage and Family Life Ministry. Brother Bishops, the Holy Father has announced the Year of Amoris Laetitia Family from March 19th until June 2022. This special year of attention to the family coincides with the 5th anniversary of the publication of his apostolic exhortation on the family, Amoris Laetitia. It is propitious and timely, therefore, that, as a body of bishops, we bring to completion the development of a national pastoral framework for marriage and family life ministry that not only reflects the best in diocesan marriage ministry, but also implements the teachings and recommendations contained in the apostolic exhortation to the benefit of families across our nation. The draft document, which you were given an opportunity to review prior to this assembly, has been subject to review and revisions for many standing committees and consultants over the last few years. Among these consultants are Catholic leaders representing diocesan marriage and family life ministry, as well as national organizations, to obtain a realistic perspective of the needs manifested by couples and families in parishes, dioceses, and society at large. Originally, a vote by the body of bishops had been projected for November 2019. Unfortunately, the vote was delayed until the following year, at which time amendable documents were not considered during the virtual fall 2020 General Assembly. Therefore, nearly 2 years later, we are now able to vote as a body of bishops on this pastoral framework for the care of our families. In light of the circumstances of the global pandemic and the Universal Church's initiative of the Year of Amoris Laetitia Family, which urges us to recognize ever more fully the centrality of the family as the domestic church, the committee recognizes that a vote of approval to publish this resource is increasingly urgent. I would like to spend a few moments now to provide an overview of the contents. The introduction of the framework sets the tone for this highly practical document by reviewing the realities of families today and the aim and audience of the framework. The purpose of this pastoral framework, which is an adaptable set of principles and strategies, is to assist dioceses, eparchies, parishes, and all those who serve the family in responding to the call to proclaim the gospel of the family, the joy of love, throughout our nation. It is not a work of theology, spirituality, liturgy, or apologetics. The primary audience is you, the shepherd of your diocese, together with your diocesan ministry leaders, ordained, consecrated, and lay, who serve and minister to and with families, especially marriage and family life directors in dioceses, eparchies, and parishes. The secondary audience is the couples and families we serve as a church. The introduction to the framework also reviews terms used within the framework and also the most effective way to make use of the framework. The framework is divided into 4 sections, which we call pillars. These pillars for strengthening marriage and family life are prayer, or building one's relationship with Christ; formation, which includes human, spiritual, intellectual, and missionary formation; accompaniment, which takes place in 4 major moments: during marriage preparation, during marriage, during the stages of family life, during complex or difficult situations of family life, Today, pastoral leaders face the challenge of addressing numerous marital and family situations that are more complex than in previous decades. The framework addresses many challenging areas by providing guidelines for pastoral care. Advocacy for the concerns and needs of marriages and families, such as affirming marriage between one man and one woman, and protecting the primary role of parents as the first educators of their children. Every pillar focuses on areas of concern and then proposes 3 areas of attention. These areas of attention are repeated throughout the framework as 3 E's: educate, encourage, and engage. Educate. This section suggests catechetical principles, knowledge, and skills that are a foundational part of pastoral care or needed to impart pastoral care adequately. This is the what, or foundation, for the church's ministry. Encourage. This section suggests areas of encouragement to reinforce principles and meet specific areas of need that may be overlooked. This focuses on the who, or the recipients of education and care, or the pastoral workers who serve them. Engage. This section suggests strategies that may be used to implement the aforementioned principles for the pastoral care of families. These are the how, or practical steps of implementation. This section is followed by an explanation of how the framework may be implemented, primarily by way of the family through the joy-filled witness to the gospel and the parish as a family of families. Finally, our committee has created a comprehensive implementation and dissemination plan to ensure that the framework reaches widely to all dioceses, national organizations, and other constituents. By way of review, at our last assembly, the following steps were proposed and have since been implemented. In May, the pastoral framework for marriage and family life ministry was made accessible in its entirety in draft form to bishops for review through the Bishops Only website. Individual bishops requesting any modifications were asked to email the Laity, Marriage, Family Life, and Youth Committee by May 20th. The committee then reviewed and determined to accept or reject the proposed modifications. Earlier this month, the final document, including a table of the accepted and rejected modifications, was sent by email to all bishops prior to the General Assembly. At this General Assembly, the body of bishops has the opportunity to make amendments and vote on the final document. Our committee has reviewed the framework thoroughly and believes that this will be an important resource intended to assist pastoral planning for the care of marriages, families, and the domestic church. I am asking, therefore, for your questions and any final amendments you would propose, and respectfully request an affirmative vote on this publication, which will be of particular significance during this year of Amoris Laetitia family. Thank you, brothers, for your attention.